Welcome to Nightbreed. Genevieve and Anthony Fox from Temtris. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us. It's great to chat with you.
Great to be here.
Awesome, man. Cool. Temtris got together back in 2000. Is that right?
2003.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. So, how did that?
Do the math on that one?
Yeah. So, how did it all first start? How'd the first crew sort of get together?
Genevieve and myself were in a previous band, more of a local band because we're from further down the south coast, not based in Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
And that band grew sort of as big as it was going to grow. And then we decided we wanted to pursue something a bit more serious. So we moved into Sydney, met up with some other like-minded musicians, and it became sort of a project band to begin with, but it very quickly turned into the full-fledged version of Temtris. Followed up with an album, and suddenly we found ourselves on our way.
Yeah. That's cool. So yeah, Threshold came out 2003, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So what's the go with like writing and stuff? How do you guys, does someone just bring a fully fledged song, or are you kind of jamming on things?
Changed over the years an awful lot.
Yeah, okay. I mean, 20 years, the process from Threshold to now is evolved, I would like to think of it. Yeah. Certainly in the early days, myself and Genevieve sort of had the driving push behind setting up the band and getting the band going. And I took a lot of responsibility for the writing and production of all the music at that stage. Over the years, of course, we've had members come and go with various degrees of ability of writing, and I've always welcomed people with writing ability into the band, and a lot of their ideas appear on the albums that they've performed on. And Genevieve, who's managed to stay the course the whole time, has evolved as well with her writing process. So if you look at the current album, for example, it's very much across the board split between all of the four members that stayed on from Ritual Warfare. Nick, the drummer, contributes to the writing. He's always got one song that's kind of his baby that we work on, and he contributes that. Nardi contributed a little bit to Ritual Warfare, but then really came on board, obviously, for the second album with a lot more ideas, and sort of found his groove a bit more, and he and I were able to work together, and he has contributed a great deal more to this album. And Genevieve herself has evolved into writing full lyrics and delivering pretty quickly these days with the vocal ideas when the riffs sort of come together. So that makes it a lot easier. Has its own challenges, of course, getting all those different ideas together. But with the experience that we've got, that's kind of part of the fun as well. Keeps it interesting.
Yeah, for sure. It's cool. So you put out 4 albums with Battle God Productions. How'd you get together with that crew?
Gorgie we met at Forest Inn, Bexley. We used to go there, and when we first moved to Sydney, we pretty much lived 20 minutes walk away, so we just started hanging out at the Forest Inn every weekend watching bands, and then we started playing there, and then I started working on the door there and helping out at the pub, being the door bitch back in the day. Good. So we met Gorgie because he was trading CDs, and when it came to releasing our album, he just said, I'll give you guys a hand with getting you guys out there. So he really jumped on board with Masquerade, our second album, and helped get that overseas and start getting us sort of known worldwide. And we stuck with him for those the 4 albums, and then it came time to sort of move on to work with different people. So Wormhole Death reached out to us, and they had a good deal, so we decided to give it a run. So we're still with them.
Yeah, it's cool. So Wormhole Death, they're Italian based, right? Is that So how'd you get together with them?
It's funny because I received this email. So the Pugs joined the
that's
conference.
Cool. Yeah, hey Pug.
Walking in the background. I received an email from one of Wormhole Death's companies about touring, organizing touring with them. And I mentioned that we were doing like releasing new music and looking at getting another album out there. And before we know it, Carlo reached out and sort of said, what do you want to do? And he's the manager or the owner of the label. And we explained to him what we had planned. And before we knew it, he was sending us a contract and offering this deal with a 50-50 split to basically release that album. So we went, this looks really good. We'd already released Forever and he liked our sound. So we basically just jumped on board and took a risk to work with them. And I mean, with Gorgie, we always had a bit of a friendship handshake deal with Battle God. With Wormhole Death, it was a bit different. We were actually, you know, signing a big contract. So we had to get that checked over and make sure we're going to look after ourselves. But they've been really good to us, Wormhole Death, and we decided to give them another go for the next album. And we've actually been looked after even better next time around. And Carlo and his team are just amazing. And he's got Natasha that works for him, and she is fantastic in the promo and stuff. So I'd highly recommend them to any band looking for a record company to give them a step up.
Yeah, nice. That's cool. I'm talking about Forever. I like that you guys have music videos. You know, not a lot of bands do. Well, some bands don't do music videos. I'm a fan. I love a good music video. But the one Forever, where did you shoot that? It's a cool location, mate.
Yeah, that's Kiama.
It's Kiama. There's a spot just north of the Bombo Beach. For people who might be familiar with the Kiama area, it's a quarry essentially. It's also where they used to film the episodes of the Power Rangers. Correct?
Oh,
yes.
okay, yeah.
So it's a big quarry. It's completely enclosed with a cliff face. So it's quite cool for that sort of thing as a filming area. And in fact, when we were filming there, one of the things you could see up on one of the cliff faces was one of the remnants of a Power Rangers explosion in one of the walls still. So that was kind of funny. The other sort of funny thing that is about that area when we filmed that film clip is that it's quite popular as a visiting destination because of the Power Rangers and also because it's a beautiful natural spot. So the whole day we were there filming the film clip, there were tour buses turning up all the time. And, overseas tourists getting off the bus and walking past us doing our film clip. And I mean, a film clip, you're doing takes all day, 60, 70 takes, song over and over again till you're sick of hearing it. But it was a bit of a G up to get to the end of the take and hear a polite, nice. Yeah, it's a good spot, beautiful spot.
Came out awesome. Adam Jordan, who made that clip, we've actually used him for our next film clip that comes out in February. Yeah, he does an amazing job. He really is. I would recommend him again to other people who want someone that can make them a great film clip like that one. He's won a few awards now, and you can see why when you look at our stuff that he's done for us.
Yeah, so did he do any of the previous ones? Any other clips?
No, Your Time Has Come was done by Lord Tim from Dungeon. He actually did that one for us. We've actually done a few ourselves.
Yeah.
When we've had no money and you just want to get stuff out there. A Breathe was... Fox helped put that one together, Breathe, and...
Into the Asylum. Same. I mean, people can watch the videos. They can tell the difference. I don't pretend to be a producer in any way, shape, or form. I'm learning. Things that I have to do most of the time, called playing guitar and stuff. But Your Time Has Come, Breathe, I organised. Into the Asylum, I organised. Run was another interesting one. That was Lord Tim again. That was at Port Kembla. In the winter, blowing an absolute gale. Yeah. Which we didn't need any special effects. The weather did it all for us.
-3 wind temperature. It was horrible.
It looks great on the video, but what you can't see is like running for jumpers and stuff at the end, and also the week we spent cleaning sand out of the equipment when we got it back home.
Okay, so March. March this year, Chaos Divine comes out, the new one. Looking back, to 2003 to now, you sort of talked about it a bit before. How do you think the sort of putting an album together process has changed since then?
Oh, this one came together quite fast.
Big picture stuff for us. not a lot has changed. The technology allowing us to do this stuff ourselves has obviously improved. There is a lot more functionality in being able to dispense with the giant recording desk and the specialised rooms and things like that, which in this day and age is kind of essential because there aren't that many bands running around with the dollars to throw at that sort of equipment. Certainly not in the Australian metal scene. So the sort of do-it-yourself has stuck with us the whole time. And again, just like with the movie stuff, I've learnt the craft of engineering and producing and sort of almost by having to just have to do it. Otherwise, these things wouldn't happen. So that sort of things, big picture-wise, it's still us setting the tracks up, loading the sounds on, putting the performances down, and then tweaking away with whatever wizardry is available to create the music that we need to create. So the wizardry has improved. It's definitely easier these days. A lot more wrestling with the early technology, trying to get it to do what you wanted it to do. A lot of yelling and screaming and walking away. And so it's easier to get to the process or to get to the sounds that you hear in your head in your sort of your home setup. We still do use the proper rooms to record the drums and the vocals in. That's a matter of preference. I can't get my head around digital cymbals. I don't think I ever will. So the drum kit has its own special process of being recorded so that we can get real drums onto those recordings. And I mean, the rest of the performances are real, but yes, the guitars are done with plugins these days. And vocals, she goes into a vocal booth and records through the good old...
Screams my guts out for a week.
Yep, through the big microphones, and we get the tracks at the end of it and, put it all together. The
writing process has definitely got quicker and better, but we definitely know how to throw stuff together quicker now. We have a system where it seems to just gel a lot better now. It used to take a bit more time to get to where we wanted. So
and the music knowledge I think has improved as well. The ability to craft a song. I go back to the Threshold recordings and play through them from time to time, and I still scratch my head and think, what was I thinking? Trying to put that piece of music next to that piece of music next to that, and it's raw, it's rough, it's what it was back when we were learning to do what we wanted to do. You compare it to something like Chaos Divine and what we've put together there. You can hear, well, hopefully you can hear, to my ears, I can certainly hear a growth and an improvement in the ability to build a song and craft a song and have it flow and move through a whole album. And with Chaos Divine, it's a concept album. So we, just decided we'd make it just that little bit harder for ourselves. And see if we could just run the whole flow through 50 minutes. So, interesting.
That's cool. So, the cover looks really great. Tell us about the concept. What's the go there?
Well, go back to COVID, can't go anywhere, locked in our backyard. We were sitting in the spa in our backyard having a few drinks. And I had Somewhere in Time on from Iron Maiden, and I went, you know what, we need to do a new, like a futuristic modern album. We haven't touched that area yet. I'm like, let's do it. Let's do a futuristic concept sounding album. So then we started throwing things around and going, we need because we always have a girl character on our albums. We can have a girl character that's got all these special abilities and stuff. So sort of grew from this idea I had after a few vodkas in the backyard, chilling, talking, killing time because we couldn't go anywhere or do anything. So it sort of, it just grew from this concept. And it's funny, when we told the boys about it, I actually spoke to Nicholas, our drummer. He actually said, you know what, one night I had a dream about a similar thing, and he had woken up and written out this whole movie script. And it wasn't identical to our idea, but we sort of merged the two ideas to help come up with this story. So we've got this story about this girl that's in a world that's basically a dystopian world, and it's
the album's there to sort of examine potential futures based on humanity and what humans choose to do. I mean, we try and have a bit of level of depth to it, as well as the music and the fun side of things. The story itself is examining a dystopian world where you can live almost forever, but it does come at a cost. And the cost is productivity, basically. So the album is there as a bit of an examination of life and living, and what is the value of life and living. If you spend your entire existence as a slave to something, have you lived? And to what level have you lived? So that's probably the deep side of the album. And then we thought, well, how can we unpack that in a bit of a story? Because obviously we're not going to sell philosophy here. And we thought, well, let's get our female character, let's put her in this dystopian world. Let's make her responsible for working out this discrepancy in the work-life balance and recognizing the evils that are inherent in the system. Someone will get that reference. Mm-hmm. And then have her act on those and see where that takes her. And in her response to this dystopian world, she uses the things that the world has given her in a touch of irony. It removes your emotions. In order to be ultimately productive, you have to replace most of yourself with robotic or cybernetic parts and instruments. And as that happens, of course, it slowly dehumanizes her to the point where she's able to make a very clinical decision, something that perhaps only a computer could make.
Oh, cool. That sounds good, man. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
It's pretty good. We've actually got our son is at uni at the moment, and he actually is a writer, and he's actually writing putting the story together for us. So he's having a bit of fun with that. So we do have plans to maybe release it. We're not sure yet. Originally, we were going to do it in comic form, but every band seems to be doing that. And we did look at getting someone to draw it all up for us, but it was going to cost us a small fortune. And as you know, releasing an album's already probably cost us about 10 grand. So making a comic as well might be stepping past our abilities. But we'll have some form of the story out for people, hopefully, to go with the album. So if they buy it off us, they might be able to get a copy of something to read along and have a version of short story on what it's actually about, so you can listen to each song and read what it's actually what it's telling you. So it should be cool.
That's cool. Yeah, excellent. So away from you guys, you talked about Maiden before. What else have you been listening to lately?
Oh gee, I bought a lot of new stuff. I bought the new Aussie, I bought the new Megadeth. Mm-hmm. I bought the new Halo Effect. Mm-hmm. I checked out what else did I check out? I bought a lot of new stuff recently. Utopia is my favourite store. Mm-hmm. Yeah. we were getting back into a bit of Children of Bottom lately. I really like them. Yeah. I love everything right from Death, Carcass, right through to some lighter stuff too. I love my Queensryche and things. So there's always something on my playlist in my house. But it's interesting checking out the new stuff coming even from overseas. There's a lot of that European metal coming out with the female singers. Just probably, I try to get into it, but it's a little bit too poppy for me. I think it's all the keyboards that does my head in. I don't mind a little bit in an album, but too much kills it for me. But I still like to have a little bit of grit in my music when I listen to it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's cool. Sweet. So yeah, you guys have got like 9 shows coming up across Australia, right? What's the plan? Like, are you playing much of the new stuff, or is it just kind of a mix of everything?
The plan is to play the whole album from start to finish.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Awesome.
I mean, you don't want to just do a concept album and just go, here's half the story. You can't have the rest.
Warning the bands out there thinking of releasing concept albums. Then you got to worry about how you perform it live.
Yeah.
We're going to do. We're going to try and pull it off live. So it should be should be good. We've got to actually get together and this month and start rehearsing it properly. I mean, we've all been rehearsing at home as we do, because we sort of regard rehearsal time as when we're all together, we should be getting the show together, not actually learning the song. So everyone's learning their part. We'll get together and work out how we're going to put this show live on stage. Nadi actually plays keyboards in this album, 2-in-1 part of the song, a little joining piece, and a lot of people are hoping he pulls out the keyboard on stage. So it's just whether Nadi can be bothered to lug a keyboard and guitar gear.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah, it's interesting conversations at the moment, because having a story concept to present on stage, it's a lot of, we could try and do this, we could try and do this, and then you've got to think, then how do we fit all that in the back of the car to drive it around the very end? No, there's no Iron Maiden Flight 666 to save us. No one's going to transport this shit for us.
Yeah, we're still, I mean, as much as we're doing good as a band, we're still just a local band trying to make this big sound and release big albums, and we have these big dreams and big goals of things we want to do, because we love bringing a whole story when we bring out an album. And it's frustrating because we do want to put on these amazing shows, but like Fox says, to cart around stuff to do that, it's just near impossible to put on these giant shows without quitting your day job and being broke. And then you don't have any money to do anything fancy anyway.
We have managed to get some cool ideas in the show already, though. So I won't put any spoilers out there, but there's story elements are coming out to play, so it's good.
Oh, beautiful, man. Cool. And you're talking about a video in February. Is that going to be sort of like a sci-fi-ish kind of thing going on with that one?
Yeah, we've actually got there's one single coming out in January on the 25th. That's the first single. That's actually Chaos Divine, which is the name of the album. That's the first one that'll come out. And this was the other thing we had to decide. If you're going to release singles, well, we better release them in order of the tracks, or it's going to make no sense for the story.
At least till people have had a chance to actually get familiar with the story. So Chaos Divine is the second track, but the first track is sort of an instrumental grand opening, as you would expect on a concept album. So Chaos Divine is when the vocals kick in and the storytelling starts. So we felt that would be a good place to start with the first single release. It's a kick-ass song, so that was an easy decision. The second release, which is the Adam Jordan film clip, which you're referring to, coming out in February, that is the official single, and that's the third song of the album. So that follows on from Chaos Divine. So one song will lead to the next, and then the album will come out after that.
So yes, that has got some sci-fi. You saw I don't know if you saw my photos, or I put a little snippet up on my page of the actual the filming area where we film, because we filmed some inside and then we filmed some outside near a power station to get that sort of vibe going. So it came together pretty cool. So I mean, hopefully it sort of helps tell the story. We'd love to do more film clips. It's just whether we can keep stealing money from our bank manager.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Well, look, I'll be at the Perth show. I'm looking forward to it. Good luck with the other shows. I hope you can fit everything in the car, and I'm definitely looking forward to the album, mate. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for cheers for your time, guys. It's been cool. Thanks a lot.
Oh, thank you for your time, mate. It's awesome to meet you. Cheers.
Yeah, you too. Cool. Have a good one, man. Alrighty. See ya.